Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about ScourgeBringer. And ScourgeBringer is a game that came out recently that's a action-based, movement-based roguelike game. And so if you've played any of these games before, it kind of plays similar to Rogue Legacy, Dead Cells, and Celeste all at the same time. But if you haven't played any of those games, let me explain. So at first glance, it's kind of just your run-of-the-mill roguelike. You know, you go from room to room to room, killing all the enemies, sometimes finding items. There's shops, there's this currency that you can find that helps your progression out of game. So it's got a lot of the elements that a stereotypical rogue-type game, roguelike game would have. But what's super interesting about this game is the combat and movement system. So it's kind of like Celeste, where you have your double jumps, you have your wall jumps, and you have your dashes, except your dash is a dash attack. And so what it kind of promotes is this play style where you're just constantly dashing all over the screen and double jumping and just killing at all the enemies. I mean, there's some rooms that you can just kill every single enemy in the room without ever touching the ground, because when you're attacking with your normal attack, you kind of stay suspended in midair for a little bit. You can kind of just keep dashing, attacking as much as you want, especially, you know, I think it resets every time you hit an enemy, so you can just keep dashing all over the place, killing these enemies, stunning them with your heavy attacks, and using your, you know, gun to kill things further away. And I'll explain all that a little bit more in detail later. But overall, it just makes you feel like this badass ninja, because you're just flying all over the screen, just obliterating these enemies. And it's kind of like every time an enemy is about to attack, it gets like this exclamation mark over its head, and that kind of lets you know it's about to attack. So you have this heavy attack in which if you use it, most enemies besides like bosses and stuff will kind of get stunned. So if you're just fighting one single enemy at a time, normally you should always be able to beat it because you're really powerful. If they're going to attack, you can just heavy attack and, you know, keep on stun locking it. You can even do that to the kind of like mini bosses in the first like floor and two. I haven't gotten super far, but in the first like floor 2's mini bosses, because it's just only one thing, you can just keep stun locking it. So overall, you're insanely powerful, more powerful than in other roguelike games. But where the challenge comes in is you only have like 10 health to start off with. And so just if you take a single damage here and there, it's a lot harder to heal. There's a lot less healing items. Healing items are almost as rare as normal item drops that would increase your damage or stuff like that. And so overall, you want to keep on being super bombastic and just throwing yourself all over the place and dashing everywhere, but eventually you're going to keep taking damage here and there. And then obviously when you get to harder things like the bosses or harder areas, you eventually start losing a lot more health. And the items that kind of drop, some of them are very simple, like they just upgrade your base weapon damage by like 5%. Some of them, you also have a gun. So how the gun works is you have ammo regardless of what your gun is, and you reload your gun once you've done a certain amount of normal attacks. So it kind of promotes you to not just play it safe, and it kind of reminds me of the new Doom game. The developers said that when making it, they wanted to promote people to not just be super cautious. They wanted people to constantly, you know, keep attacking new enemies and just keep going in. And so they put systems in place where, you know, you could instantly kill anything that you were up close with this awesome animation, and then I think it dropped like ammo and health and stuff. And this game kind of just makes the movement attacks so strong that it is in your best interest to just fly all over the screen and try to kill things as fast as you can, because the longer you wait, eventually these things are going to start attacking you, and you're going to have to worry about dodging that, which you can with the movement abilities. But if you can just fly all over the screen instantly and kill half the enemies, why wouldn't you do that? And it's kind of just this thing where the gameplay in itself is what is amazing about this game. You know, like I said, all the other rogue elements of this game like are kind of just run-of-the-mill elements that you would find in any other roguelike game, but the bread and butter of this game is how amazing the movement and the combat and movement are kind of just one and the same. I mean, your main movement ability is a dash attack, not just a dash. And so, you know, eventually you get to bosses and stuff like that, and they're a little bit more involved than just instantly going all over the place and killing people, and you can kind of start learning their attack patterns. And this definitely, like a lot of other roguelike games, is a game that you eventually get better and better and better. So the first time I played against the first mini-boss in the world, I think I died to it, and then I eventually learned that you can kind of just stun lock it. So it's one of those games that you can just, you know, keep doing that, but it makes it where even the beginning areas, when you die and you have to just play through the beginning areas, it's never boring. You know, when I go play Binding of Isaac, the first floor or 2 or 3 is kind of a little bit boring because you don't have any items. You're kind of just shooting your base tiers, you're not that powerful, but in this game, you are just a badass ninja and just flying all over the place and killing things. And if anything, it just makes you feel so strong because of the fact that you can just fly around and do this stuff. And then the further you get, once you start getting to the second area and the third area, things start to get a little bit tankier, and there's some quirky little things like these icicle monsters that if you get under them, they fall and then have kind of some of their projectiles fall all over the place, and you kind of have to start balancing and being a little bit more careful, but overall it's still really fast paced. And in terms of the roguelike progression out of game, you eventually find these like small little orbs that you can use in a skill tree like Rogue Legacy if you've ever played that. So just there's constantly these different branches, and once you get one you can keep on going that and you unlock everything, and some of it unlocks game mechanics. So one of the things I unlocked pretty early on is just a kind of meter at the very right of the screen that's a combo meter, and the better combos I do, the faster I do things, and the more, you know, I think unique abilities you use in your combos, the more of the currency that you use to buy from the shops, more of that drops. And on top of that, I unlocked something that if I dash downwards, I did this huge wave of, you know, like a dash onto the ground attack, and that's pretty useful. Eventually you unlock things that is like Fury mode, which you can kind of go into like Red Dead Redemption, where you kind of like stop the screen and choose who you want to attack. It's almost something like that. And so you just keep unlocking these new mechanics that just make you feel even more badass. And the whole time you're doing that, this huge like music that would be playing in like a Doom game is playing this like metal music, and you know, with its own spin on it, and just the entire art style is very interesting and unique, and I love it as well. And you know, overall I think so far they have like 3 of the main worlds in the game, the 3 areas. They have, you know, a decent amount of items, there's a lot to do in this game, but it doesn't have like an infinite amount of playability in terms of like progression. Obviously it is early access and it did just come out, so it did kind of blow up a little bit and it did get pretty popular, so I fully expect this game to keep on getting updates, keep on getting new content coming out, and I'm looking forward to it because, just like I said, the core gameplay it just has such an arcadey feel that I don't really get. You know, a lot of roguelikes are more careful. You got to be, you know, planning what items you're getting and planning what health you're getting. But in this game, you can just speed run as fast as you can and just have a blast. And then if you die, it's like, okay, whatever. Within 10 seconds, I'm already getting back into a new game. And like I said, the starting areas don't feel boring because you just feel so amazing to do this combat and this movement thing. And it's overall a blast of a game. And it's not expensive at all. You know, it's kind of like priced like a lot of other roguelike indies, you know, $15. But I would highly suggest this game if you are a fan of anything like Dead Cells or Celeste, kind of has movement like Celeste, or Rogue Legacy. It's got good roguelike progression that you would find in any other roguelike. The combat and movement system is the best I've ever played in a roguelike like this, and the art style and music just matches. It does have a nice level of polish to it that you don't a lot of the time see in these early access roguelike games. But overall, I would love to hear your opinion on this if you've played the game or just from seeing the gameplay here. What are your thoughts about this game? Let me know in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys. And if you have any other games you want me to try out, any new games that are coming out that you're excited to know if it's good or not, definitely let me know in the comments down below as well. I love getting suggestions from you guys. But if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out about, you know, once or twice a week. And if you guys are having a great day today, I hope you guys continue having a great day. If you guys aren't having a great day, I hope you guys start having a great day. But either way, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. See you guys next time.